On the first day of a national lockdown, experts and industry players have weighed in on the 40 billion PEMERKASA plus stimulus package, with most calling it timely, but with limited impact. Economists say this is due to the smaller fiscal injection as compared with previous packages. RHB Research Institute's economist Ahmad Nazmi Idrus says that while the extension of several popular measures such as the tax holidays will result in a boost, it will be at a diminishing rate, although the cash handouts will help consumption. He says that the swift reopening of the sectors post the 2-week lockdown is the key for ensuring that the economy gets back on track. CGS-CIMB's economist Michelle Chia calls PEMERKASA Plus underwhelming, although she acknowledges that the government is caught between the rock of a persistent COVID-19 wave and the hard place of fiscal reticence. She also estimates the 6-week Phase 1 and 2 lockdown will lower 2021 GDP growth to 4.4% from 5.7%. She adds that each passing fortnight of Phase 1 will cost a further 0.9% point, hence the stakes are high for Malaysia to make this full lockdown the final one. Federation of Malaysian Manufacturers President Tan Sri Sotian Lai says that while the industry welcomes moves like the extension of the wage subsidy program and the loan moratorium, overall it falls short of expectations. According to him, the FMCO is more stringent and has far greater impact as businesses have yet to recover from the previous lockdowns that taxed their financial reserves. Glove Corp's plan to list in Hong Kong and raise up to $1 billion has been delayed as it seeks to resolve a US import ban, Reuters reports, quoting sources familiar with the matter. This is another setback for the world's largest rubber glove producer as it contends with the ban from the US Customs and Border Protection on its products, citing forced labour practices. Glove has said several times that it is still working with the CBP to resolve this matter. Glove, which is already listed on Bursa Malaysia and SGX, indicated in April that it would sell 793.5 million shares in the listing, half of what it proposed in its original application to Hong Kong Exchange. Before that, in March, Reuters reported that Citigroup and UBS Group opted out of working on the deal due to labour practice concerns. When contacted, Glove told Reuters that it could not comment due to regulatory reasons, but that it remains committed to the Hong Kong IPO and will make an announcement when appropriate. It was another red-letter day at Serba Dynamic Holdings' counter as its shares hit limit down again for the second consecutive day. It has lost some $3 billion in market value in just 2 days. It was a bloodbath in early trade, with the stock tumbling by as much as 30% or 33.5 cents to 79.5 cents. Although it managed to pare some losses, the stock still closed 26% down at 83.5 cents. It was the most actively traded stock on the bourse, with 1.6 billion shares transacted. Interestingly, other counters linked to Serba Dynamic chief Datuk Dr. Muhammad Abdul Karim Abdullah actually had a better day after tanking yesterday. K-Power was among Bursa Malaysia's top gainers, closing 18% up at RM1.27, while Sarawak Consolidated Industries finished 11% up at RM1. Abdul Karim is a major shareholder of all three companies. The Malaysian Institute of Corporate Governance, however, was not happy with Serba Dynamic's response to the dispute with its external auditors KPMG, saying that it had raised some serious governance concern. In a statement, MICG Deputy President David W. Berry says it is inappropriate to remove an auditor when the executive is unhappy with the audit findings. Digital Nasional, the government-owned special-purpose vehicle set up to build, own and operate Malaysia's 5G infrastructure, has appointed Morten Lundell and Lim Tau Kian as directors. They will be independent non-executive directors, with Morten's appointment effective April 14th, while Lim's appointment was effective April 28th. Morten is a telecommunications veteran with over 30 years of experience and has held key positions in Telenor, Vodafone Group, Maxis, as well as Digi.com. Lim has over 40 years of corporate experience and has held several C-level positions in Shell China before her retirement in 2008. DNB Chairman Dato' Asri Hamidon says their appointments will further elevate the board's capacity in ensuring best standards in governance. They will join 3 other board members, Mampu Digi Dato' Sri Dr. Yusof Ismail, MCMC former chairman and chief Dato' Muhammad Sharil Tarmizi, and lawyer Dato' Muthana Abdullah. DNB CEO is Ralph Marshall, a well-known name in corporate Malaysia. DNB was set up in line with the unveiling of Malaysia's digital blueprint My Digital on February 19th. The advancement of the 5G network represents a key part of the puzzle for Malaysia's digital future, stoking industry competitiveness and creating thousands of jobs. Duo Pharma Biotech has signed an agreement with the government to supply 6.4 million doses of Russia's Sputnik V vaccine to Malaysia. In a statement, the company said its wholly owned unit, Duo Pharma Malaysia, concluded the execution of separate definitive supply agreements with the Malaysian government and a subsidiary of the Russian Direct Investment Fund. This followed the announcement made on January 26 of the signing by DMSB of separate term sheets with the government and RDIF. The supply of the vaccine remains subject to the fulfillment of the remaining conditions and approval by the Drug Control Authority of Malaysia. MD Leonard Arif Abdul Shattah says that Duo Pharma is fully committed and proud to be part of the country's inoculation program. The supply agreement is expected to contribute positively to the group's future earnings for FY21. According to the statement, Sputnik V has been successfully registered in 68 countries and is one of the only 3 vaccines in the world with an efficacy rating of over 90%, and no serious adverse events related to the vaccine were recorded. So far, 20 million people have received the Sputnik V vaccine.